Welcome to a new video which is about sum to product formulas in trigonometry. In this video I will show you the formulas used to solve these questions. After that we will solve 3 instructive examples. Without further ado, let's get started. Here guys we have sine plus sine, sine minus sine, and cosine plus cosine, and cosine minus cosine. So in other words we have plus and minus for sine, and we have again plus and minus for cosine. If we have sine A plus sine B, then we're going to have 2 times sine A plus B divided by 2 times cosine A minus B. So this angle is always summation, you can think it in this way, and this angle is always subtraction. For example, let's say we have sine 40 plus sine 20, right? So it's going to be 2 times sine. If you add 40 to 20, we have 60. 60 divided by 2 is going to be 30. So we're going to have 30 here times, we are subtracting 20 from 40, then we have 20, and divided by 2, then we are going to have 10. So we're going to have cosine 10 here. If we have sine A minus sine B, then we have 2 times cosine A plus B divided by 2 times sine A minus B divided by 2. So I just want to say you something here, that is guys, in sine functions, as you can see here, we have sine and cosine. For cosine functions, here we have cosine and cosine if the sign between the cosines is plus, and if the sign between the cosine functions is negative here or minus, then we're going to have sine and sine here. And also pay attention to this sign here, which is negative 2, guys. The formulas may look like a little bit complicated, but once you get used to solve the questions, guys, they're going to be much more easier for you to understand. And because of that, let's take a look at examples. And in our first question, guys, we have sine 75 degree plus sine 15 degree, and that is equal to what? If you look at our formulas, that I just put them on the right bottom corner. So we have sine A plus B, right? In this question, you can think A as 75, okay, this is A, and B as 15. So we're going to have, actually, this is going to be equal to 2 times sine. If you add 75 by 15, then we're going to have 90, right? And if you divide 90 by 2, then we're going to have 45 here. So we're going to have 2 times sine 45 times cosine. If you subtract 15 from 75, then we're going to have 60, guys. 60 divided by 2, then we're going to have 30 from here. And that is going to be equal to 2 times sine 45 degree is square root of 2 divided by 2, guys, times cosine 30 is sine 60, right? Because 30 plus 60 is 90, right? Cosine 30 is sine 60. You can think it in this way. This is a rule, actually. So sine 60 is square root of 3 divided by 2, guys. And here you can just cross out those values, and this is going to be equal to square root of 2 times square root of 3. We're going to have square root of 6 divided by 2. So this is the final answer in this question, guys. And the next question is, guys, sine 10 plus sine 30 plus sine 50 divided by cosine 10 plus cosine 30 plus cosine 50. By the way, those angles are degrees. So how we can solve this question, guys? In such questions, I recommend you to keep the known angles. For example, sine 30 is known, right, which is 1 divided by 2. So let's try to add sine 10 by sine 50. And this is the formula, again, we're going to be using in this question, guys. So this is going to be equal to, guys, sine 10 plus sine 50 plus sine 30 divided by, again, we're going to have cosine 10 plus cosine 50. I just put those together, and then plus I'm separating cosine 30 also from here. We're going to write this functions corresponding, and again this functions corresponding, and then we're going to go from there. So this is going to be equal to, guys, sine 10 plus sine 50. We can again think A as 10, right? This is A, and B as 50 also. Actually, always I recommend you to think the bigger one as A. So this is A, and this is B, guys. Okay, so from here we're going to have 2 times sine 10 plus sine 50. If you add them up, then we have 60, right? 60 divided by 2, which is going to be 30. So we're going to have sine 30 times cosine 50 minus 10 is 40. 40 divided by 2, which is 20, guys. Divided by, and by the way, don't forget to add this part, which is sine 30. And we will do the same thing for cosine 10 plus cosine 50 here. And this is the formula at this time that we're going to use. So we're going to have 2 times cosine. We will add the angles up and divide the result by 2. And we're going to have 60 again divided by 2, which is 30 times. Again, we're going to have cosine 20 from here also. Plus, and also don't forget to add the last term, which is cosine 30, guys. And if you look at the numerator, guys, here, we have sine 30 here and we have sine 30, right? So we have sine 30 in common in those terms. This is the first term and this is the second term. So we can take the whole numerator in sine 30 parentheses, right? And we will do the same thing for cosine 30 for the denominator part. So cosine 30. And for the numerator, sine 30 is multiplied by 2 and cosine 20 here, which means that we have 2 times cosine 20 plus 1, right? Because there's actually a coefficient 1, which is multiplied by sine 30. And for cosine 30 in the denominator, cosine 30 is multiplied by 2 cosine 20, plus also there is 1 here, right, in front of it. So we have 1 also here. And now, if you realize here, guys, this is our fraction. This term and this term, they are same, right? So we can easily cross them out. And once you simplify the fraction, then we're going to have sine 30 divided by cosine 30 left over, which is going to be, guys, tangent 30, right? So the final answer is tangent 30. By the way, what is the value of tangent 30? If you draw here the special right triangle where the angles are 30 and 60, this is 60. This side was 1, which is opposite of 30. This side, which is opposite of 60, is square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is 2. So from here, if you apply the tangent 30, okay, here on this special right triangle, then we're gonna look at the situation from the 30 degrees perspective, right? So tangent 30 is opposite divided by adjacent, which is 1 divided by square root of 3, right? 1 divided by square root of 3. And if you extend the fraction by square root of 3 also, then we're gonna have square root of 3 divided by 3, guys. So in this question, the answer is square root of 3 divided by 3, guys. And this is our last question, guys, in this video. As a last question, I put a little bit different questions from the others. So the question is, if 12x is equal to pi, guys, and then what is the value of sine x plus sine 5x divided by cosine x plus cosine 5x? Again, we're gonna apply this formula for sine function, and for cosine, again, we're gonna apply this formula, guys. So for numerator, then we're gonna have 2 times sine, we're gonna add the angles, right, which is gonna be 6x. 6x divided by 2, which is gonna give us 3x. So we have sine 3x times cosine. If you subtract x from 5x, then we're gonna have 4x. If you divide 4x by 2, then we're gonna have 2x, guys. Divided by, again, we're gonna have 2 times cosine. Actually, the angles will be same, so we can easily put here 3x times cosine, also 2x. And in the next step, guys, as you can see, those values, we can just easily cross them out, and those values are the same also. You can simplify the fraction, and once you do it, then we're gonna have sine 3x, let me write it here, sine 3x divided by cosine 3x, guys. And again, sine divided by cosine is tangent, right? So we're gonna have tangent 3x from here. And by the way, 12x is given to us as already pi. That means, guys, if you divide 12x by 4, then we have 3x, right? So actually, that 3x can be written as 12x divided by 4. So this is actually tangent 12x divided by 4, right? Which is tangent 3x. And 12x is given to us as pi, right? And then our question becomes tangent pi divided by 4, guys, which is tangent 45 degree, as you all know. And if you remember the special right triangle where the angles are 45, this is 45, this is 90. If you remember the special right triangle, that line was 1, that side was 1, that side, which is hypotenuse, was square root of 2, right? So if you apply tangent here by just looking at the situation from 45 degrees perspective, then we have opposite divided by adjacent, right? Which is 1 divided by 1, which is 1. Or if directly you know what is tangent pi divided by 4, which is actually 1, that is also faster way. If you have any question related to questions that I solved or anything else, you can put them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and hopefully see you in the next video.